Hello and welcome to Jo-ttack on Titan.
Oh, shut up. Not that.
Well,
It's Jo-ttack on Titan.
Welcome to Jo-ttack on Titan. It's Titan Tuesday. Thank you for joining us for our Attack on Titan arc by arc kind of review retrospective. We're watching it. Sam's seen only season 1. I've seen it all and I've read it all, and we're going through. We're only spoilers to end of season 1. No spoilers past that. We're talking about episodes.
Any spoilers or just like my predictions or what I'm pretty sure I maybe have seen?
If Sam is predicting things, I don't consider that a spoiler. So, these are episodes 13 through 16, I think. This is like the pre...
I'm pretty sure it's 14 to 16 because we watched 3 episodes.
Okay, 14, 15, 16,
yes.
So
we didn't watch 13 and a half.
No, we did not watch 13 and a half, which apparently is a recap episode, which...
Sure.
It's very strange because, like, to go on a really brief tangent.
So it's a week break for TV airings, so you just put this recap episode in there.
Yeah, it's just weird to even do that. I feel like recap episodes were a thing, like, in older shows.
Yeah, I just watch when I'm watching Utna.
Yeah. But, okay, whatever. So, this basically covers the... So, we're in season 1, obviously. This basically covers the the post-Trust arc.
Okay, yeah, 3 episodes. One's the trial of Eren Jaeger. Second one is the basically the Eren's like learning or meeting the survey team essentially, and the third one is just like the recruits.
Yeah, seeing where everyone's kind of ending up. So we get a lot of like, I think this is a really nice little
a lot of exposition
arc here. It is a lot of exposition, but I think it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
Particularly, we'll get to it, but particularly with Hanji. I think the stuff with Hanji is like so intriguing to me that I don't.
It's the first time
care.
Really like getting to understand the monsters other than just being like mindless eating machines.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. Let's start with the
trial of
Eren Jaeger.
Yeah.
So Eren basically, it's like, this is another thing too where I want to just point to like just look at the society, like look at how like it's military, like everything is structured around the military.
Yeah,
like,
the military police leader has this final say in this trial.
Yeah, well, so technically he's not. So that's Zackley.
That's Zackley.
Zackley, I don't believe Zackley
Fuckley
is I don't think he's the military police leader.
He's not.
He's like the premier or something.
He's just high up.
Hold on, I'll look it up really quick. But basically, we have... It's the garrison don't really matter here. It's more the scouts want Eren, custody of Eren, and the military police want it. And it's kind of like, it's not even is Eren free. Like that's not even a question. It's who is going to take Eren is the real question.
Because we get teased about there's like kind of political tension between the military police and the Survey Corps with Eren because they both want him and it might lead to civil war. Also with this court session where anybody can just speak out at any time, like the priests, just random people in the audience, like
there's a Wallist.
The Wallace that are every time they talk, they just get like overlapped with an inner monologue because who cares about what the religious zealots have to say? Yeah,
it's kind of funny because like there seems to almost be no order to this. Like halfway through this the thing that's like, okay, well, you can talk now, and then you can talk, but then. Yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of random.
Mikasa's here. You tell me what happened, and then like that kind of stuff. Where like it's literally like if you're sitting there, you could be called as a witness at any time.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what he is. I think he is premier.
Okay.
I think that's what his like title is. So yeah, he's because the one guy, his name's like Niles. There are so many Docs or something. He's like the military police leader.
There's so many name drops. I have no idea like who was who at that certain point. There's so many names being started.
Yeah, there's a little. They start like it is easy to just get overwhelmed by it, and so many of these characters are barely characters, so I don't blame you.
Yeah. The guy who looked like he stepped out of Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, that's Zackley.
Exactly.
Or this is Zachary. So
oh my god,
the sub that we're watching called him Darius Zackley.
Sure.
But whatever. Zachary. I think it's Zachary. That might have just been like an early weird like romanization of it or whatever.
Yeah, well, Eren kind of speak out, basically calling everybody in the military police into the walls like fucking pussy cowards that don't know anything about Titans, and then Levi using the best what's it called court tactic of just beating the defendant senseless.
It's really
or the prosecuted,
funny.
I guess.
Yeah, it's this scene is really funny to me because like
He prosecuted him pretty well.
Levi could have just kicked him like twice.
No, he knocks out a
He
tooth.
literally destroys Eren.
Mikasa
here.
literally turns into like almost a murder machine, like that they had to hold her back. That she had like the look of like a fucking like zombie about to like break out.
Frankly, it's insane that Armin alone is enough to stop Mikasa from killing Levi here.
It was because it was Armin and the other girl,
Rico.
Yeah, Rico.
So yeah, they bring up a point too where like one of the points of contention that comes up later is that Eren attacked that when he went Titan, he did attack Mikasa.
Yes.
He did an attack on Mikasa, if you will.
Yes.
And so this is something that Rico brings up in her report, and then Mikasa's like, "Why would you say that?" She's like, "I'm not gonna lie. Like this is dangerous. Like it wouldn't help us to lie."
Yeah.
Which she's kind of right.
I mean, Mikasa even comes to that realization of like, oh, I could lie about him trying to attack me, but like, it won't get us anywhere either. So.
Because then at that point it would be like contradicting information. Yeah. So she is honest, but yeah.
She played Danganronpa or Phoenix Wright. So
as you said though, the truth bullet of murdering, kicking the hell out of your suspect.
Brutal violence was the truth bullet that
just
you
wins.
It's also just like Levi kind of showing like this is what you're afraid of. This kid I'm beating senseless. Like
yeah,
like
because one of the military police guys like, what could stop him from just transforming right now? And then that's when Levi just like beats him. I was like, see, he won't even do it. He's like a dog.
Says, like, yeah, he killed 20 Titans before collapsing. Like that, like. I can handle him, like, no problem. That's nothing for me, but still, it's pretty, like, giving him a good fact, but also being like, yeah, I can take that.
Yeah. And it's, I think the big other thing here is, like, I don't know, does he mention the basement? Does Erwin mention the basement here? I know he does later, but...
Erwin, he only mentions it I think he only first mentions it...
I don't think he does.
No, not until the actual speech to the students does he really mention it.
Because what he says here is he's like, because they're given the military police basically wants to like dissect
they
him.
Basically say, I think the only thing he says is, I think the first thing he says, like this first statement was like, we want to use him to take the wall back.
Yes, exactly.
That's basically all he said. He's like that's it, like that's it, like that's it.
Which is like a pretty big thing, and it's really like, it's interesting as someone who's seen the series, like how much they're focusing with Erwin. Like this is Erwin's real goal. Like Erwin's real goal from moment one seems to be retaking the wall.
Because their whole like expeditions they've been doing have been just trying to get a pathway to basically like where the basement is, or to like that gate essentially.
Yeah, and Erwin is also like very intrigued by this basement.
Yes.
Too, which he does mention later.
Everybody is. That was a big meme of like when we get into the basement, everybody.
It's true. Then we meet Mike or Mike. He's a sniffer.
Yeah,
he sniff and then smile.
As we learned, like we said, like with the last episode, with like it's like Jujutsu where like you gotta be crazy to be this job. There's a specific area because
it's like it weeds out normal people or something.
Yeah. Like okay, what's your gimmick? Like I sniff people and smirk. What's your gimmick? I love Titans. I mean love Titans. and then you get Petra, who I don't know what her weird gimmick is, other than maybe just being the one sane person. Maybe.
Yeah, she's kind of normal. Because, we've got, like,
she also looks like Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen, which is hilarious.
It is very funny. When you pointed that out, I could not unsee it. Because, we have a couple other ones, like, all of the, like, scout troops that we meet here. Because Eren then he gets taken by the scouts.
He also, like, knows all their stats.
Which is actually really funny. I didn't even think about that. The fact that he knows them by heart is really funny.
He knows them by heart. Their kills and assists.
And he has their trading cards.
Yes, their KD spread. KDA spread.
But so they end up going to like the Scout Command, which is like an old castle that was renovated.
Banning Castle that they're renovating now.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't make sense why it's there because it's not close to like any like they had to go out of their way to.
I think they had to just for the Titans they captured because they didn't want to bring it around to any active people.
I think the Titans are captured somewhere else though. The Titans weren't kept on.
They're captured in those walls that they took over, I believe.
Wait.
I could swear they took those Titans from the walls that they were, because remember they came in and took care of the rest of the Titans in there, but I think they managed to capture 2 in there.
Yeah, they kept them in they kept them in the city.
Yeah,
Like they didn't bring it to the castle.
but then they did transport over, I guess, from the castle to the city then.
No, I don't think they were ever at the castle.
Because they do go to see the bot. Or no, that's just a flashback. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
other than them transporting there when they find out something happened to them, because that's when they all go there.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, they're just kind of like out. It seems like not strategic to be
No.
where they are. It's almost like it's a secret. It's like a secret base kind of thing. That's the vibe that I got
The
from
Area
this.
51 kind of shit of just being like a remote location.
Yeah, but they just seem to hang out there. It's just like training.
Sure.
But yeah, we get Levi. We see Levi's little quirk, which we mentioned last time was
Yes.
he's a cute little germaphobe.
He's a neat freak.
He puts on his little.
He might be a neat freak more than a germaphobe, because like he doesn't like dirtiness, but
Do they know that germs exist? Have they discovered germ theory?
he just likes
They had
everything
to.
being neat and tidy. Because even a germaphobe, he wouldn't touch that bloodied soldier no matter what, or like.
But I think it shows how devoted he is to the cause that he would do that even though it brings him discomfort. Whatever. I think neat freak is better than germaphobe.
Yeah. Because he just wants to clean it up. Because he wouldn't have turned down his mask off to talk to Eri if I would have kept it on.
Especially he would hate current year.
Yeah, but people put on their masks to talk to other people.
Yeah, Levi would hate seeing all the people, the anti-maskers.
the idiots. The Titans. The mindless Titans.
Would you take the Titan vaccine?
I'm going to take some of those horse dewormers, so.
So
Take my chance. Fuck that, get yourself vaccinated.
Don't take the horse. Don't eat the horse dewormer.
Do not consume it. You idiots.
I'm at. Sorry, no. We won't even.
Titan dewormer. Do not consume
dewormer.
the Titan dewormer.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That'd be really cool if there were like weird bugs and shit that it lived on the Titans, like giant lice or something.
We don't really get too much with like the epidemic life so far. Like we see horses, of course, but like you don't see too much like animal stuff going on.
No, yeah.
They have cattle and shit, but like yeah, you don't really notice like any bugs or like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not really focusing on the animals though. So.
Yeah, it's more right now. It's like everything is very like focused on like ushering plot, and that's where like getting into. So they have a whole thing where they're like cleaning up the castle, and it's really just a way for us to learn about Levi. And Petra has some like fun little interaction where she talks about how Levi. The one thing I wanted to glean from this was basically Eren is like surprised at how much Levi follows the rules.
Yeah, because we learned that he was like a thug in the city, and
yes,
then
a notorious thug.
That Erwin convinced to join the Corps somehow.
Which I think is really interesting, because he doesn't seem like that at all.
He's
like,
very good at talk no jutsu, of just talking it out. So we call it in Naruto, Jim.
I know. But then also this whole idea of him being like the Eren seems to insinuate that because he's so powerful, he would like skirt the rules. But Petra is like, no, he follows the rules. He's like diehard, loves Erwin. He will die for Erwin, basically.
It's just one of those things of like the one person that got them out of their like hoodlum days, just kind of being their mentor or friend, and then hopefully nothing tragic happens to that mentor or friend that makes them either A, learn a lesson, or B, go crazy. So that's usually how it happens in like anime or manga. So that trope is pretty common.
We'll see.
Hey, there's a 30% of these characters are not going to make it after the end of the adventure.
Then we have this scene. So probably my favorite part, one of my favorite scenes so far, when they're all having dinner, like the scouts. So it's just basically like they call them like Levi's squad. It's basically like Petra.
Yeah, there's Levi's squad, and then what's it called? And then when she comes in, she has a squad.
Hanji.
Yeah, Hanji.
Hanji's part of Levi's squad.
But she's a squadron leader, so she has her own kind of.
Yeah, and then she's also
kind of
like,
bullshit.
It's interesting because it feels like she's kind of like a doctor, but she certainly is not. Like,
no, she's a quote unquote professional expert with air quotes around that.
But so yeah, they're having a conversation basically, and then Hanji comes in, which I love her entrance. She like rams her head against the door, but it's like locked.
And the little like latch that
Yeah.
it's like over, and it kind of goes almost up to unlock it.
Yeah, and so yeah, they let her in, and the second she starts talking about Titans, everyone leaves, and then Eren.
Because Eren doesn't know too much about Titans. He's like, this is like news to me. So like, tell me about this shit, and tell me about. And he basically learn about her experiments with the two Titans that he captured. That she does end up naming Sean Bean.
She names one Sawney.
So yeah, Shawnee Bean.
Sawney and then Bean.
Sawney Bean. Sean Bean.
I find this whole scene so intriguing. I love that because like
She almost died like 3 times.
and like just seeing like there hasn't been a character like her yet in
No.
this in the show of like everyone is like either hates Titans or is afraid of them, but she is so
Enamored.
fascinated.
She's so
and
enamored. Yeah, enamored by this like this learning about them, what makes them tick, and like she didn't get many because she had 2 last time that died when they accidentally cut their heads off.
Yeah, which they and something that she felt like remorse over, like she felt horrible.
Yeah.
That they killed them.
Yeah.
And like the thing she says,
She
like
gets attached to him because you give something a name, you get attached to it.
and yeah, she empathizes with them in a way that we've seen no character. I think she just brings in such like she helps like flesh out the mystery more.
And also-
it makes me want to know more.
And also learning about how the Titans are like they're different like Titan personality. Like there's some that are introverts that were like
Yeah.
someone just took the pain. Someone like one just really crying out in pain. Like
The one is
one's very biting, laying down. The other one's just kind of sitting there chilling, very passive.
they also one thing that's really important is we learn that they only need sunlight.
Yes,
They don't actually. Oh, also, did this happen in the last episode? I think we didn't mention this, but and by that I mean like at episode 13, we see that the Titans throw up the humans when they're full.
I think we talked about
They throw up a ball.
the hairball or the
it's like-
it looked like crystal. I believe
It
maybe
did look like crystal.
but it may have been mucus. I don't know. It was kind of weird with like the lighting, maybe.
Yeah, that's like the only
like-
time we ever see that.
Yeah,
So, but this idea that the Titans don't even digest the
Yeah.
humans. They don't even need to eat.
and like the smaller one was like shutting down a lot quicker. Where like I think the larger one was like fine. The one that was like laying down like
Yeah, I think
like,
it was the bigger one. It was like it took longer for once they deprived it of sunlight, it took longer for it.
Yeah.
But just I love that she like personally sits there and like waits it out and talks to them. It's like this is a crazy person. Hanji is absolutely insane.
yes. Say someone's got to do it.
Oh, also I do want to address now, and I guess this is the only time I'll ever really bring it up, but Hanji does not have like a gender.
It's gonna be I remember you telling me that
So this is something that like
because
it's,
they do call him sir.
yes, they refer to Hanji as sir.
But that could be just a formality as well that military people like to do. No matter who your higher up is, they usually say sir, yes, sir.
Hmm. So technically,
But but it has a voice actress, so
yes. So that's the one thing, and like I did watch a. Sometimes they're like these like, I don't know what the word is, but like they'll have a few of the actors together. I've seen it for like JoJo and like big series like that. They have a few actors together and they have like a discussion on something.
a round table.
It's kind of like a podcast, I guess. But it was like Hanji and like Eren's voice actor and someone else, and they were talking about. Someone clipped it because it was specifically about like Hanji's gender, and the voice actress for Hanji was saying like the way that she like I spoke to the director in Isayama, the mangaka, of like, okay, we want you to present yourself like more gruff, like since you're like a woman, we want you to try and put more of a masculine spin on the character. None of like I don't think they ever explicitly refer to her with pronouns.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in any of the subtitles.
In Japanese as well. Like they Isayama has like gone on record and saying that he wants the gender to be ambiguous.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like I guess we should say they. I'm probably gonna say she a lot when I refer to Hanji. I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably will too because it's just, I hear the voice actress and I just that's kind of where my head goes to.
Yeah, like her body type. I just immediately like I don't know.
The face. I got a very feminine face from that, but for what do we know?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. I just wanted to address it because it is something that is like there's discourse around it,
It-
and there's a lot of people that are like,
Address the Annie nose in the room, yes.
there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Hanji's trans, like Hanji's a trans man, or like, this is like
They
a
don't.
thing.
They got no time to deal with gender in this universe right now.
Titans only.
Yeah, they have to unite in a way, and that's like the least of their worries right now. More if you identify as a Titan is your bigger worry.
But I don't want to like downplay people
Oh,
who like feel
and it-
that way. But I just want to say like in the text this is never explicitly brought up. The only way that it's addressed is that Hanji's never explicitly given a pronouns or a gender.
Okay.
So the character is meant to be ambiguous.
Yeah, we know. We will.
Yeah.
They never even explicitly said a pronoun, right? So
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because going into it, having watched the whole series myself, I wasn't aware of that until I saw like fan discussion online,
Yeah.
and then I looked into it and found that interview like roundtable discussion thing that was interesting.
Okay. So
Oh, sorry, yeah, Hanji. I really like Hanji as a character.
yes, and but
very cool.
Also, just talks throughout the entire night to Eren, boring him to he stayed awake. Eren stayed awake the entire time though.
Yeah, I love how enthusiastic he is at first because this is the first real connection he has. Like, because Levi, he's clearly intimidated by Levi. Like, Erwin, he has like some sort of
He
like,
looks up to him, but he's also like kind of scared of him as well.
yeah, and like you can tell he's trying to get over his intimidation from Levi because he's like, well, I know he did it for a reason, but I mean that's still traumatic to get beat up by someone.
Someone to beat you up and like threaten like, oh, I'll be the one to kill you if you slip
literally.
up. So it's rough, buddy. And I think that's when you get like an alert that says, oh yeah, some shit happened. And
Sad.
the Titans, Sean Bean died. The first we see Sean Bean and then he dies right away.
It's so funny that could be a reference, but
Could be.
I don't know if it was nearly intentional.
And it was done by someone like ran away with using 3D gear, so someone on it was an inside job, as they say.
Yeah, and that becomes I think these are like pretty well, like the way these things lead into each other are really good because Eren's whole thing could be totally separate from the squads thing, but they tie it together with the Titan,
Yes.
the Titan killings. So I think that's really clever because then we jump over from Eren's whole thing to Jean.
And the classmates also, because they're all
Jean.
being like basically doing alibi / gear check. Essentially.
Yeah, so everyone's getting their gear checked to see if like I guess they would check to see if it was like any recent activity.
They have a log or something where like they're trying to see if like someone like signed out like their gear. It seemed like
Because I think someone asked, what's her face, Sasha. They were like, when did you get this part last replaced? Like they're really like going in depth.
into or if it was some random person, but like you just say I did this, like that adds up, you're good, kind of stuff. But but we only got like 2 seconds of that. They didn't really see like noticing. I thought they were gonna like kind of suspend, like, do some suspension of like some other characters, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, they're like putting that on the back burner.
So it's just Gene like kind of like contemplating a lot of stuff. He's still dealing with the Marco stuff.
Yeah, Gene is fucked up about Marco.
He's perfect. He's perfect material for the Survey Corps now.
Yeah.
The perfect amount of trauma lines now.
I think this is really interesting looking back on it because I kind of forgot when I watched season 1, but we have this kind of setting up of Gene because Gene's whole thing from moment 1 was I want to do the police, military police because it's cushy and safe, and we have this moment where he like bonded with Marco and Marco was like, you're a good leader, like even though you suck, you're a good leader. And Marco is really like the driving force. I always thought it was Eren because they're paired off, but it really is Marco that's the reason why Gene wants to join the Survey Corps.
Yeah, it's just the Aaron's words always like kind of pushed him to like do a lot of do that.
Yeah, Eren was like his rival, but his real motivation was my boy Marco. R.I.P.
He'll be back.
Rest in pieces.
He'll be back. He'll regenerate, as we learned. Because also we learned in the first episode, we didn't say that when he looked at his knocked out tooth in his mouth, it's back.
So Eren now has regeneration powers.
He's human regenerated powers, so you're not just like in
Titan form
to get it.
Which that'd be great, dude. I would fucking love it. If I lost a tooth, I would have a panic attack.
So I guess they don't. I'm not sure if they do this later on, but like you could check for a fake Titan if you like remove someone's if you get them to remove a tooth or like give them some kind of injury, because like Mikasa probably would have regenerated that cut if she was
True.
Titan. Like anybody that had like an injury in a fight, you could probably see as like they still have it or not. I mean, Marco got an extensive injury, so it would probably take some time to regenerate that. Or that was just like a shell. He shed it, like a snake.
I think it's so funny how much you're fixating on Marco.
Sus Squad, man. The member of Sus Squad. There's 3 Titans as not the female Titan that are sus, and there's 3 people in the Sus Squad.
What if Marco was the female Titan? That would be the greatest.
A Titan destroyed gender norms would be amazing.
I mean, how good of a red herring would that be? If you're so Sam, you have like dark hair and dark eyes. What if your Titan was like a giant, like blonde hair, blue eyed lady? Like nobody would suspect you.
Good. I mean, Armin could probably figure it out because I think he's like the fucking biggest brain. Like
It could be Armin.
But it's like, then why is that arm hair on you blonde?
Okay.
Or you got them just cups of breast, like,
This looks familiar.
How, for someone who looks so flat, why do I scoop a breast?
Alright, so
Someone would figure it out. It's just how like shit works in like manga and anime. Like worked in Death Note. It could work.
it's just a big mind game, which is really like the connection of Death Note to Attack on Titan is really fun to me because obviously the same like director did it. So it's really funny. Like I think Armin's epic step is like a big Death Note moment. All these times when characters are just given these like big overacting moments, basically.
Move my leg and step.
Yeah.
But
everything just becomes like the most mundane action becomes like a big statement. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. So basically, we're also from the new we get the new OP, and the new OP heavily focuses on Annie, which just gives it away so much.
It kind of does. Annie's in it a lot. We see a lot of shots of the female Titan.
Yes, and not only just showing like Annie, Krista, and Ymir or something, just showing all the female characters and say like, evenly. No, they just strictly show Annie so fucking. But even when you see her design, it's kind of obvious who it is.
It is pretty obvious. I think like.
Because the other 3 like not nearly as obvious because the hair color, one's bald and like doesn't really have the head look, and we don't have a hairy person really. So,
I think like they kind of missed an opportunity to make Krista a red herring. Because obviously, like, so we already mentioned this, like, Sam's seen season 1, the full female Titan is Annie thing.
Yes.
Krista is also a blonde-haired girl with, like, shoulder-length hair, I think. Is her hair, like, shoulder-length?
Her hair's, like, a little longer than shoulder. It's a little past her shoulders.
So, like, it's pretty... I mean, you could have used her as, like,
Eren should tell her to cut her hair to not get caught in her gear. Probably would help her. And then she can just be obsessed with Eren, too.
Yeah, oh my god. Everyone just starts fawning over Eren.
Steal her away from Ymir.
No, they're meant to be. They're in every scene together, Sam. It means something.
What's your character? You're stuck with Ymir. Oh god.
I don't think they have shown up separately. I think every time we see Ymir...
Yeah, she showed up separately to give Sasha food, and then Ymir showed up afterwards.
Yeah, that was, I think, Krista's first appearance, actually.
Yeah. That would be her first line, I think. But yeah.
So, kind of moving on.
We're basically on the last episode that we watched.
Yeah, so... Okay, I think... I don't remember exactly where this begins, but we have this kind of... Okay, yeah, so wait, I can't remember exactly.
It's a lot of... This episode mainly is just Jean discussing with everybody about who they're joining.
Yeah, we have like a... So we have this like flashback scene in a flashback where it's like... I think it's supposed to be like right as they're burning their friends' corpses, like Marco's corpse, and presumably others.
200 others.
They like Jean has this moment where he's like thinking about Marco and like why he's inspired.
The ghost of Marco.
I really love the ghost of Marco shows up several times. I love this scene where he like tries to salute but he can't. And he's like gripping his hand. And he's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna join the Survey Corps. And he's kind of like...
He's gonna say a gamer word.
Jean is kind of like the domino, like the first domino to fall, where he like kind of inspires everyone.
Yeah.
And then jumping forward, we have... The reason why I'm mixing these scenes together is because they're both at night lit by fire.
Yeah, but the people... Jean and Connie kind of had the hardest, the hardest thing to make up their mind on. Because Connie still was also dead set on joining the military police and like...
Because all of these characters scored in the top 10, so they all have the choice... Because you need to be in the top 10 to be in the military police. Like,
yes. Unfortunately, all military police get jack shit this year. They get one person that's going to be like, basically not in it after like a day or two.
Yeah.
So
Well, there are others. Yeah, there's this
At
other
the top
like
10
camps,
though.
but so
They lost all the best like fighters to the Survey Corps.
which I mean, it makes sense as we talked about before. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense that you'd want to put your best people in the Survey Corps.
I mean,
'cause
they
they
all
have
have
the best chance of
most of them
surviving.
have gimmicks and and have trauma lines. So
Yeah, some of them barely do. Like Connie barely has a gimmick. Connie barely does.
he's the one like sensible person for the most part, other than like picking his job. He was the most sensible in the fight somehow.
He did have a few moments of like clear-headedness. But yeah, Connie also said his mom. He was like, so Connie.
Oh
had,
yeah,
like,
Mama's Boy. There we go.
He had. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
we got it, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
he had like a real connection. I mean, everyone of course doesn't want to die, but
Yeah.
that was his like reason. It was like, oh, my mom would be so happy to hear me joining the military police, like being safe, blah blah blah.
But
So
I guess we talk about the whole like initiation part then, because
Erwin's big speech, yeah,
yeah, it
his
basically
epic speech.
his epic speech is basically just admits to everything about Eren being the Titan stuff, and like the whole plan about going to the basement because it might have the key to figuring out the whole Titan origin, and then also just says, oh yeah, 30% of you will die in this at most likely.
Oh no, I think he actually says 60%. He said within like, so okay, he explains flat out like in 30 days, or I think 30 or 60 days, we are going on our first mission. Like regardless of how ready you are, 60% of you aren't expected to come back.
But the ones who do come back will be the most highest rated soldiers that literally will be unstoppable.
Yeah, like they're basically just like farming. It's like, people talk about like how hand sanitizer kills like 99.9%. It's like the 1% of germ, or 0.1%. That's what they want to cultivate.
They want, it's like a gotcha roll. They get that that smallest percentage roll to
They
get the
just
best
keep
thing.
rolling.
But yeah, it basically it goes to this weird sequence where like all of our classmate characters are like just thinking about like their choices, and then all these terrible CGI like walking away classmates are like
It's like a flood of them, just like
it's all the soldiers from the first OP that jumped out of the buildings.
it is hilarious how long this sequence goes on.
It goes for way too long.
Like it's implied to be like thousands of students walking
you
by.
only have to like do a little bit with Jean and maybe Connie, and you're good.
But yeah, we kind of get a little bit from everyone.
Because Mikasa and Armin are like already made up their minds.
Annie also very quickly just turns away.
Oh yeah,
she's like, I'm not gonna fucking do this.
She's the only one. Like, I gotta plot female Titan shit because I can do that.
There is one thing too I want to bring up. So we kind of gloss over it. So when their equipment's being inspected, Armin's right next to Annie, and he's like talking with her a bit, and they're kind of like a little like, oh, are they gonna fuck?
Yeah.
And Annie basically like sounds like she doesn't want them to join the Survey Corps
For their safety.
Yeah, she wants them to be safe.
I mean, like, oh wow, you're kind of nice for once. Like, no, I'm not, Baka.
Baka, yeah. Annie's tsundere.
Cry boy.
I love Annie.
Sure.
I fucking love Annie. She's so good. But yeah, so sorry, going back to the thing. Also, when Erwin mentions the basement, everyone's shook. Armin is like, why is he saying this? Is like secret info. This isn't classified.
This is someone
info.
like coming out for at a like a what's it called? Like
okay, they're joining
like a military like a pep rally or
yeah, we're gonna find. We know where Osama bin Laden is. We're gonna go there in 3 weeks.
We're gonna get his computer and his Animal Crossing village save, or it's just like, or the military like coming out like, okay, or Space Force to try to recruitment, and like, we have UFOs here. Here's a picture of it. Like right now, we know where the aliens are hiding on the moon. We're going to go there and take them out. Like, wait, what the fuck?
Like, no one's ever heard this info before.
And they're plotting to like, they're already infiltrated, but this could change everything.
So yeah, and it's also there's one of the guys is like, Erwin, why are you being so honest? Like, you're gonna drive them all away. Like, please lie to them.
Because you want the crazy ones that stay and know what to do.
Exactly. No, I'm with Erwin. He should be more honest.
We also forgot to mention the famous meme that came out of this trio episode when I think like after the trial, right? But like,
so it's when they go to see the corpses of the 2 killed Titans.
That's right. And Erwin does the whisper of like
he grabs both of Eren's shoulders and whispers into his ear, and he's like, "What do you see, Eren?"
Oh, but I'm sorry, that was a strange question to ask. I love it.
It is really hilarious because, like, thinking of how few interactions Eren's had with this man, to have him grab both of his shoulders and whisper into his ear, it's very funny.
I'd be so unsettled. I hate when people, like, really, like, grab my shoulder without like without warning like that.
I feel you.
But
Erwin's allowed to do it though, because he's a hunk.
and then
He's a big honky man.
But Eren is reunited with his classmates, and they kind of talk, and like Jean, he has a moment with Jean, like Marco's dead.
Yeah, which he didn't know. Which I guess it's only been like maybe like
He's been
2 or
in
3
prison.
days.
He's been in prison more.
It might have only been like 2 days actually.
He's been in a prison or in a basement for like most of the time. So
Yeah, and I guess there really wasn't time for them to be like, hey, or they probably didn't want to tell him at the trial.
well,
Like,
you don't know. It took a couple of days to clear out. We don't know how many days it took to clear up the bodies and like eventually find
that's
Marco's
true.
body.
They did say that it took like 2 days. Like that was like the second day.
They didn't know Marco was dead until they found his body,
Yeah,
or if he's
that's true. He was
really
just
dead.
missing.
It's whole half of them. We don't know where the other half went,
The whole half of them.
but yeah.
So where were we? So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, they all kind of meet up. There's like a funny gag where there's a horse named Shallot that eats your hair, and the guy is like.
I remember
bald.
the one weird gag introducing to like the one wacky guy in Levi's squad who bit his lip or bit
The
his
guy,
tongue.
the long-haired guy.
Yeah.
Oyu or whatever his name is.
The name is
Don't bother remembering his
no.
name.
Yeah, and his whole gag. He has a whole thing with Petra and everything.
Yeah, they have like a relationship,
But not. I don't think it exists. I think it's like a joking one because
I
like
hope so.
because they never seem to interact like that. Where she like doesn't want anything to do with him, but like
He seems way older
Yeah.
to me. And maybe it's just the gray hair.
But I don't know.
Which there's a lot of characters that have like gray hair.
I'm not gonna
in
think
this.
too much about it.
Yeah, I shouldn't either, honestly. Why bother?
Why bother?
Petra is like barely a character.
I love her in Three Houses. So
So yeah, and they just kind of have a little moment where Jean confronts Eren, and he's like, you know,
about to kiss him.
Yeah, he's like,
He's
are
getting
you
it-
actually gonna fucking turn into a titan and kill us all? And he's like, I don't think so.
I'm not planning on it. I don't know how to control this shit, but that's what Levi's for.
Yeah, basically.
And Mikasa and Armin now, my handlers. So
I also, one thing I like the detail that they make Eren sleep in the basement, so
Yes.
that if he does go Titan, he would be like crushed,
Yeah.
and they'd be able to take him out easier.
yes.
It's like a way of containing him.
So, but overall, pretty good. A lot of exposition though. But like the trial's fun. I think like learning about Titan physiology is fun.
I like this like little. It's kind of like a what's the word? Like an inter arc.
Yeah.
Like intermediary or what's the
Transitional
word?
arc.
Transitional arc. That's the word. And which I actually really like. I like that it's not really an arc.
Yeah.
Like I like that these are more of just kind of like things developing in the background.
It's developing while because we know that they're preparing an expedition. This is just the shit that's happening.
Yeah, and it really like cleanly transitions into the next bit, which is like them already preparing for the big like the first big mission for the new scouts, and it's like they have this huge elaborate like it's like everyone basically. So
Yeah.
they have a huge like fleet. What's the word? Like formation.
Convoy.
Yeah, and which they've also explained like this is just practice. Like this is a practice mission for when they're going to retake Eren's home.
Yeah.
Shiganshina. So interesting.
The 57th expedition, he said.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to set up like a resupply, area or something like that.
Because we see them planning it, if I recall correctly, we see them planning it before the Titans are killed, before they know.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I'll bring it up later why I think that's interesting.
Why it's sus.
Well, I'll just say it now because you've seen season 1.
Yeah.
Because, like, really what this mission turns out to be is, like, a way to find who the mole is. Because they know there's a mole. But they were seemingly planning it before they knew about the Titan killing.
Yeah.
Because we see the whole scene with the sniffer guy that happened before the murder. So maybe that was just they, like, were already going to do something like this.
They were going
and
to
just repurposed it.
Yeah, probably. Because everybody kind of tense up the head of just, like... Also, like, people just know, like, there are other transforming Titans, and this person probably is one of them. Like, because there's a good group of them that know, they put 2 and 2 together and, like, understood that.
Yeah, you'd think so, especially since they have names for the Titans.
Yeah, at one point, I'm not sure if it's Armin or not, basically figured that out of, like, if Eren could transform, or, like, that means, like, those intelligent ones, like the ones that actually planned out destroying gates, are also like one of these. Because like, that first thing, like when they saw the armor titan running through like Eren's village, like no, this is intelligent. Like they don't This is not mindless thinking. This is like strategy.
Also, the whole thing of how like the Colossal Titan appeared and disappeared like instantly. That's like
Yes.
something totally unseen with the
It's like
Titans.
and like the lightning effect is very similar to Eren's like green light showing kind of thing. So.
But yeah, so that was episodes 14 through 16.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
I liked these. I love Hanji.
Survey Corps is very fun. Most of them are pretty fun goofballs or whack
I think
jobs.
that like this is what the show really needed to like set in for the long run, because we finally have like the last arc was about like refocusing character arcs, and now we have like setting up the big basement. Like this is all basement.
This is the big target is the basement for this basically the entire section of Attack on Titan coming up is focusing on getting to this basement and figuring out.
Yeah, and now that we start to have like this big plan, and I think the next arc is done really well, where it's not like it doesn't feel like all of the planning is done first. It does the thing where it's like the mission happens and the plans are shown throughout, like in a heist movie. You know how they do that, which I think is really good, because like I hate when you have to wait for like a whole plan to be told and then you do the plan. But I think that like from now on, it's just a lot of like fun action scenes and like good character moments and like
characters dying.
Yeah, characters dying. A lot of brutality coming up. Love to see it.
She's gonna be kicking a lot of people.
I love it. I would have Annie kick me.
I'm sure you would.
Step on me, Annie.
You know, I was the one that was thirsty during Jujutsu Kaisen, so you could be thirsty for Attack on Titan.
I just love Annie.
I know you do.
I want to.
She's gonna be fridged in a couple episodes, so or iced or crystalled.
Not after she gets in her epic moment.
An epic moment, then maybe she'll come back eventually. I'm sure. And then once they like, figure out how to crack that glass or the crystal,
we'll see.
They'll nuke it.
All right. I think that's it.
Yeah. Talked about it at a pretty good length.
Yeah, this is hit a good length. All right, do you want to do a plug?
Yes, I would gladly. Thank you all very much for listening. Please put a comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and me and Jim separately as well.
Links in the description.
Yes. You can join the Discord, of course. And yeah, I think that's just about everything.
That's about everything.
And next time we'll see you next Tuesday.
For Titan Tuesday.
Titan Tuesday, when we actually get to the female Titan kicking people around, and Jim will be heavily turned on more than my Mikasa sexual jokes I make during the thirsty Mikasa jokes I make during when we watch this.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great Titan Tuesday, or whenever you listen to this.
Titan Thursday.
Titan Thursday, maybe.
Titan Friday.
Goodbye.
Or the next day.